You know why I'm here. Ain't gonna be no peace.
This is our chance to take that white boy out for good. Tommy gonna be coming for your ass like a Terminator. We need to be able to take him out.
Oh, he'll be taken out. We gotta put the living before the dead. This is it. We're looking at an all-out war. The $1 million question is, what side you wanna be on?
What's up, ugly-ass niggas? This your boy J Miles, and I'm back with another video. You know what to do. If you're new, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, leave a like, comment, let me know what you're thinking, but most importantly, make sure you share it with your ugly-ass friends. On today's video, we'll be covering Power Book, of course, and this is the episode 8 recap. Now, this episode was damn good. If you've seen it already, you already know. I couldn't quite give it a 10 yet, but I'll give it like a 9. Arguably the best episode far. And it's crazy because like as of late, it seemed like we've been saying it quite often, like each episode comes, like this is the best episode of its kind so far. But I believe episode 9 will finally be a 10. That one will be off the chain. But anyways though, let's go ahead and get into the episode at hand. For those of y'all that's new to the channel, welcome. Appreciate you subscribing. This is not like your typical recap. This is the UglyAzzNiggaHTV. And we gonna do it how we seen it at last, niggas. And for those of y'all that been rocking with me, so without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into this. So we start this thing off with some detectives or police officers, whatever they are, viewing the body. Of course, you know they got the sheet over it. This is none other than Stacey March. Then in walked your boy Bobby DeFranco. He takes a look at it and he sees his wife's lifeless body laying on the ground. And of course, he's very emotional. Then he so happens to take a look around the crime scene and notices a phone underneath the car. I want to say that was Stacey's car, and of course, this phone is the same phone that Stacey was had in her hand when she was having her meet last episode with Tommy. And after that, we head on to your boy Tommy and Maria, and he's basically telling her that, yeah, I had to do some ugly ass shit last night. I mean, it ain't nothing I want to do, but I ain't have no choice. And Maria was like, what kind of ugly ass shit? It's like, you know, the ugly shit. And then she noticed a bruise on his arm, and she was like, what, this come from your ugly shit? He's like, no, get the fight with diamonds, ugly ass. Don't you know that ugly ass motherfucker thought that he could take me out, you know what I'm saying? I will burn that motherfucking coalition to the ground before I take it from you. And she was like, come on, ugly ass nigga, think. Don't burn it down. Take it back. So, and in the middle of them having that discussion, Tommy received a call. And he was a little, shook because he noticed that the call said Stacey March. Clearly, he knows Stacey March is there. So he's like, who the hell could be calling him? So he, signaled for Moran to be quiet. And of course, on the other end was none other than Bobby DeFranco. And he let him know he knew it was Tommy because, of course, Tommy didn't respond. He just picked up the phone and he was like, I know it's you, ugly ass nigga. And I know you did it. And I'm coming for you, ugly ass nigga. You hear me? I'm coming. But he had to let him know. And after that, he get back to Tommy and he's letting him know, they gotta, his whole neck work's been down and stuff like that. He got some more moves that he's gonna make. And he made sure that she was all right when he left, before he left. Anyways, next we get to your boy Jannard. He ugly as hell. And now that he's back on that shit, he's making all kinds of reckless moves, being ugly as hell. They didn't do what's going on in the state, but I just had to let y'all know he is there. But anyway, he's having a conversation with Diamond, and Diamond's letting them know that, Tommy is going to be coming for them, and that he's more than likely going to try to make a play for Che. And of course, Jannar was the hell, like, Che ain't going to deal with him being a solo. So basically what they got to do is lock some things down. And that's when Diamond was telling him he needs to be making sure he gets things right with Shanti so that they can have the coalition on. And of course, Diamond done fucked that up. Jannar done fucked that up. Because him and Shanti is no longer together, but Diamond basically was pressing. Next, like expected, your boy Tommy made a move to try and go and see Che, and he basically brought a good amount of his own money to re-up with him because he needs product, of course, not being a part of CBI. Of course, Che was like, your little ass got a lot of nerves to set up a meet with me after you've been kicked out of CBI. So now Tommy finds that, of course, Diamond Glass was already ahead of things and let Che know that Tommy's out of CBI. And Che was like, look, ass nigga, I don't do bodega shit. I do Amazon. And basically Tommy, was like I expected, convincing enough to get him a chance and he gave him 24 hours to move all of the product that he gave him, or else he would take out him and his family. Next, we move on to your girl Maria. She pays a visit to Miguel, and now she's asking him a little bit more information about what's going on, because she was headed there because she wanted him to be a part of Tommy, but Miguel was letting them know, all the troubles he's going through, and she asked him why, and he went ahead and was honest about it, like, I tried to do some other this shit. And she's like, what kind of this shit? And he was like, well, I made a deal with the Marquez to take out Tommy. And of course, Maria wasn't happy about that, and she was like, but he told her how he loved her enough to tell her the truth, and also how he called off the hit on Tommy, and now that's why Ortega is now after him. But anyways, next we get back to your boy UglyAzzNiggaHTV. That boy the hell this episode. We gotta make sure we let y'all know that man is hell this episode. Anyway, he makes a play to try to go back to Shanti, like, look, babe, I messed up. I'm ugly as hell. I understand, but I won't let no more bitches jump me from behind. He basically was trying to still running this bullshit story. And Shanti, she wasn't going. She like, I don't care, little lad, 2 minute chances, man. You ugly as hell. Simple as that. He's like, yeah, I know I'm ugly as hell, but look, I'm willing to do whatever you say to make this work. And after he saw that she wasn't going for it, he was like, well, can you at least do it for the business itself, But she was like, she's doing her own thing. And of course, after that, he revealed how he really is, and saying that, she ain't shit without him. He running stuff with something, he said. And on his way out, she let him know she's going to enjoy seeing his little ass fall. Anyways, though, after that, we head on to your boy, Bill's son and Bobby. Of course, they were just having a brief meeting with the rest of the task force for the feds and stuff. And Bill was letting them know that the office's number one priority is to get justice for Stacy. And in the middle of that, one of the little hooches, I forgot her name, she was trying to say that maybe the cartel was involved with that, but he, of course, shut it down quickly because he is hell and he don't want them to involve the cartel because they would be his ass. But luckily for him, Bobby was there. He agreed that it had nothing to do with the cartel because, of course, he knew that it was indeed another hideous species by the name of Tommy Egan. Now, they had a brief conversation, and Bill was acting like he's trying to help him. And to a degree he is, but at the same time he has to. So Bobby ended up letting him know he had that phone he took from the crime scene. He believes Tommy was able to get to Stacy somehow. Holding something over her head. He don't know for what it is or for how long. But Bill was letting him know that, he could talk to him in confidence and he would use it to make sure he helped get justice with Stacy. Anyways, next we get to your boy Vic the Snitch and Ray. So Ray just got through cooking them breakfast and stuff like that. Vic the Snitch, and of course, has let her know that he's got things in place and stuff for her to be able to leave town because, things aren't too safe for her with Tommy being around. And in the midst of all of that, Ray first gets a text and she finds out that Stacy March is no longer with us. And that's when reality hit Vic. He's like, God damn, this is that shit. They don't think I get a chance to do it. And, Ray was asking them, did he? But she was like, nah, I swear I ain't got nothing to do with that shit. But, they're going to blame him. He's going to be a suspect. But that's when she came together and said that she would be his alibi. Of course, with him having a DNC alibi by his side, that pretty much puts him in the clear. Then, in the midst of that, he so happens to receive a call. And behind that call, of course, it is Bobby. He's letting him know he wants him to come in because of course, the situation was going on with Stacy. And Vic was like, look, nigga ain't got nothing to do with that. He has an alibi. And then, of course, that's when Bobby was letting them know that they don't think that he did, but they just want him to come in to maybe protect him. Basically, they tried to make it seem like he might be in danger, so they want to protect him. But especially in power, the feds don't have a good track record when it comes to protecting their witnesses. So, of course, Big was like, "No, y'all little glass on your own." But before that, they got out, of course, they told him that Tommy was a lone wolf. So that gave Vic even more ideas and more motivation. Now, I don't need to be dealing with y'all little things. So right after that, that's when he received a text from Tommy, the new number, basically threatening him, telling him he shouldn't be avoiding him. But see, this is the thing. When Tommy said this, he was unaware of it. Vic knew he was out of CBI. So that's where he got the upper hand, and that's what Vic was telling Ray that she needs to get out of town a little sooner because, things might not be as safe, and this is his first chance to be able to get rid of Tommy since he's been there. Anyways, next we go ahead and get to your boy Rashard. He is now being a simp, sucking up to Shanti. And basically thinking in his head, so they little glad they got the way. Let me go ahead and try to play. Which I don't blame him. How niggas are. But the nigga dropped the whole bag talking about someone with you who want to know your next move, shit like that. Hey, bad nigga, what you doing? Anyways, though, Shanti was pleased. She was like, where your little leg get all this money from? And she was like, he basically like, he flips sneakers and a couple of other stuff, and he doesn't spend his money on stupid things. So anyway, there's a new alliance being formed here, and she told him she wants him to stay in CBI to basically be her inside man. But anyways, next we get to your boy Tommy. He was getting ready to head home, but he noticed that the feds had surrounded the entire place which is kind of crazy because, you know, this is what we never will understand about Tommy. And this is more proof of for the people that's been saying that Tommy is slowly becoming the next Breeze, because Tommy has the same routine to a degree. You know, it's like, why are you still driving this same car? You know you just got through killing a federal agent, a U.S. attorney, but you're driving your same blue car, Mustang, that everyone knows you drive. Come on, man, you couldn't get another car, that shit was done. Anyway, though, he turns around and in the middle of that, he received a call from JP, letting them know that, you know, they raided this place. So he lets them know he's on his way. And as you can see, they absolutely were in a mock inside of the place, tore it to shreds, and then walked in Tommy along with D-Mac. And he basically tells JP that he's no longer in CBI and neither is D-Mac, because he had to take up for D-Mac with them trying to, you know, stage a plan to kill him. But with that being said, he needs a new partner, somebody to have his back that he can trust. And of course, who else did he have to turn to other than his nephew D-Mac? So D-Mac was very excited, like, hold on, be the next ugly ass nigga right beside you? Then Tom was like, yeah. He was like, count me in, huh? So of course, D-Mac was excited about that. And that's when Tommy gave him a few bricks to move. And basically, in the middle of that, JP was like, but what's going on in there? Because, like, you know, why was Jannard and them trying to kill you? And basically, they came clean. She said, you know, he tried to set him up to get him killed with the 9/7 mission and stuff like that Tommy took up for him and did what he could to try to, you know, fight down. And of course, JP was a little upset because he was like, you know, he's his father, he should be the one protecting him. And I feel JP on that, but Tommy told him not to go after Jannard, but I already knew that he would, and he also knew that that would lead to his downfall. But anyways, next we get to the RDs. Now Jannard is ugly as hell with them, and Jannard is basically talking with them about, you know, the next plan and stuff, what they got going on. And they was like, you ugly as hell. Your ass still sniffing that bullshit and shooting that shit up your arm. They were just spitting the shit out your darling, man. Especially Grey One. That might get the fuck. But anyways, in the middle of that, you know, he was like, they trying to keep the coalition stuff going on. And they was questioning, you know, the Grey One was questioning it, but, you know, I don't know this little glad nigga right here's name, but basically he was like, you know, he feel what Jannard is saying, because King Ugly as Hell has been happy as long, you know, since they've been up in the coalition. He was like, you know, as long as he good, we good. But, you know, Grey Worm gonna try to hit it, because Grey Worm still mad at him for what happened, you know. Okay. But in the middle of that, in walked, Rashawn, and that's when Jannard was like, see, this is real with that nigga right here. Somebody that isn't his head with me. And in the middle of that, you know, Rashawn told him, you know, everybody have their downfall. You know, he done made up for it. Some shit like that. I don't remember exactly. Anyway, those ass niggas, that's when this ass nigga here, JoJo, was like, basically letting Jannard know that King Ugly as Hell gets out of jail today. And he was like, tell him, he said, what's up? But they were like, yeah, okay. You can tell that tension's going on. Even King Ugly as Hell don't really fuck with him. Next, we get to your boy Tommy. He's paying a visit to Shanti. And like she expected, he's making a play to her to basically have her work with him. And you know, Shanti is really smart. She's indeed a chess player, because she's like she pretty much already calculated it. Tommy would have no one to reach out to besides her, especially with her knowing that, Tommy knowing that she broke up with Jannard and no longer working with him, so that she would be an option. So he made a nice play to have her, tell him what Shay offered her and stuff like that, and how they could split the business 50-50. And of course, she, like anticipated, she was, agreeing with it because she knew she had her own agenda being pushed upon them that she's planning on doing for herself. But anyways, next we get to your boy D-Mac and Marshall. Marshall was playing the game when D-Mac walked in and told him, look, we about to get on some real shit. And he pulls out the brakes. And first, Marshall was happy to hear about it because he thought that this was coming from, CBI. But once he told him the name, once D-Mac told him, fuck CBI, they ugly as hell. This is from Tommy. He's about to rebuild his organization and give us a spot in. Marshall wasn't with it. He was like, nah, man, I ain't fucking with you with it, man. Wait till Jannard about to take his spot and then maybe things will go back to normal. And things got pretty tense. He's like, ugly ass nigga, you gonna fly with them after they tried to get us killed? And Marshall like, nah, they tried to get your little ass killed. I've been there for you all this time, but I ain't rocking with you. Which is kind of true, man. It's kind of, I'm going to do a breakdown on this particular scene, too, because I thought this was really good, and I see some things going between these two. But anyways, this is the recap. Anyways, next, after that, we get to your boy, this ugly-ass boy, Peter. He's letting Tommy know that he's unhappy with what's been going on, that pretty much things that Tommy's been promising him, things has been going left with it, and things of that nature. And once he found out that he's, no longer in CBI and the coalition, he's like, how are you going to do something on your own? And that's when Shanti stepped in and let him know he's not on his own. Pretty much flexed on him like, hey man, nigga, this is what I got. I got the back triangle, I got the clubs, I got my own organization going on. And she pretty much was able to convince him to stay on board. Next, we get to your boy JP. He is ready to throw them hands. Knocked the shit out of Ugly Jannard and told him, you messed with the wrong man. You little ugly ass nigga. Make sure you stay the hell away from his son. So he cleared the ugly ass Jannard. But yeah. So after that, of course, he hurt his hand. So he went ahead and paid a visit to, he went ahead and went back home. And of course, in the middle of that, he's, Maria here, was treating his hand. And she was like, you barely even heard of it. And you don't know why you came over here. He was like, that's because I was his ass. So it was then that they revealed that, of course, they had a baby on the way. And then, Maria was like, you didn't tell him? And he was like, no, he wanted to tell them over a family dinner. But it was a pretty exciting moment. And that's when, of course, business things came up. And Tommy was, Tommy asked D-Mac, what did he have for him? And he thought that he didn't have very much. He's like, all you little glad niggas were able to do between you and Marshall. And he was like, man, fuck Marshall, he out. So basically, that's when Maria overheard her. She was like, look, your little lad need a partner. My brother is head over his head. Y'all little lads need to put together. That's when Tommy was like, no, I'm good. I already got a new partner. It's Shanti Showstopper. And that's when he received a text from what he thought to be Izzy and said, meet up at 10:30. So, of course, he headed out. But anyways, next, we get to my boy, Shane. I really would love to see my boy Shane get into action, besides just being the lawyer that's threatening everybody. But maybe that's not his thing. He just looked like to me that he could get his hand in. Then he came in talking shit, being ugly as hell, talking with bill signed, said, look, I seen that your wife came home early and basically was threatening her, and that's what Bill was like, hold on, I'm ugly as hell now. I'm the U.S. attorney. I'm the ugliest. I'm in way better position to do ugly moves that I couldn't do back then. You know, Roberto Ortega will be out tomorrow. And basically, you know, they finished threatening him, letting him know that he better. Anyways, next we get to your boy Jannard. Of course, he got some ice on his eye because your boy JP didn't play with that ass. And that's when Diamond's like, you making it look bad. You're supposed to be a leader. You over here getting your ass knocked out. Which is the truth. Got his ass cleared. And of course, this is because he was on that shit. Like Rashawn told him look bad. And that's when he was asking him about Shanti, and he was like, no, we don't, you know, he's not with Shanti, and he can do things on his own, he need him. Things like that. And of course, Diamond wasn't happy to hear about that. He like, man, come on, little man, nigga. You to be on the boards to do what the fuck I'm telling you to do. You know how to look at slow head and was talking. And then in the middle of that, you know, that's when they brought up, that's when in walked Kendra. She's like, basically letting them know that she's sick of their little lab disrespecting her, and that she's doing her own thing with Tommy and Shanti. And that's when Diamond was like, he can't have none of that. So as she was walking off, this ugly ass nigga shot through the wall, and of course, one of the bullets ended up hitting her. Oh yeah, and she told him it's just business. But of course, after that, he couldn't let it go away because he couldn't let Tommy gain a valuable piece like that. So he basically had to, you know, sacrifice one of his queen pieces to keep Tommy from gaining. Shout out to Ronald for, you know, he know what we talking about that. And after that, of course, he had to go ahead and finish her off, letting her know it's nothing you know, it's not personal, it's just business, bitch. And of course, he finished her off. And then, you know what I'm saying? Next, we get to the bootiest hitter in Power history. This ugly ass nigga shows up with a gun. Your orders was to take out Maria. For some reason, niggas always want to come doing all this goddamn talking. Your lad could have just popped her and got it over. Oh, you asking for keys and shit. Giving her the leeway to be able to pop your little glass and get away. And then she ended up running your little glass. Anyways though, next we get to, my bad y'all, hold on. We get to Tommy. He was getting ready to head to his meeting, so he thought, and it was none other than Vic the Snitch. Caught his little ass slipping, and he pulled the scrap on him and let him know that he now has to drop on him. And how does it feel to be like that, you know, in that position? And, you know, Tommy pretty much was trying to let him know, hold on, little man, to be honest with you, this is the perfect time for both of us to work together because we, you know, basically have the same agenda. We got a common enemy. But Vic, of course, with all that he's been through, was like, you must think I'm really stupid at that, nigga. That's when he started shooting the ground. Then Tommy's like, hold on, man, nigga, all right, hold on, man. You know. In came, after that, in came your boy, Bobby. He came in, and he's letting them know, he told Vic, you know, to get up off him. And then he said they basically did an arrest on Vic. Because, I mean, technically he did just do an attempted murder. So I'm pretty sure they're not going to hold him. They're going to more so try to use him. And that's when he confronted Tommy. He was like, you little ugly motherfucker, I'm going to get your little ass. And Tommy didn't give a damn. He was like, that's what Stacy said. So basically, like, if she can do it, neither can your little man. Hey, he might turn out to be right, but hey, I don't know that, nigga. But anyways, next we get to your girl Shanti. She's in her boxing ring, maybe doing some training and stuff. Then she was approached by none other than UglyAzzDiamond. He was like, basically was making a pitch at her. She was letting him know she's doing her own thing, and with Kendra that she got the right to do business with who she wants. That's when he revealed to her, Kendra dead. And she was like, oh, so your little lad come to do the same thing to me? He was like, no. He was like, Kendra, she was like, Kendra is one person, I'm an organization, so if you kill me, it's a war, which is the truth. But he wasn't there to kill her, he was there to try to let her know what things was like as a partner for Tommy. It's either to shut the hell up and listen to what he's selling to, and he couldn't do that, and he knows she won't either. But anyways, though, that's when she turned the tables on him and was like, you look glad nigga, you need to be looking at your house. Because Shanar's been plotting to kill you since you got out. And you know, even though he didn't really think much of it then, you gotta think about it. When a seed like that has been planted on you, next time he sees Shanar, he's going to think of it. Even if, you know, he don't necessarily make a move on it, he's gonna think about it. Anyways, next we get to your boy D-Mac, and of course, after the big argument that he had with Marshall, and Marshall kicking him out, he went back to his dad's house and asked him could he crash there, and of course he said yes. And you can tell more and more, the more they bond, that nigga JP was about it, right? But anyways, though, next Tommy ends up running. You know, he had to go and see about Morales because she called him, and he was very concerned about her condition and how she was doing with the baby. So they had to come up with a plan to be able to get her to see in the hospital, but not the hospital that she worked for, because it would be way too many questions to answer and she could potentially be in danger. So that's when she told him he needs to call Miguel to help clean up the mess. They to go to the hospital. Anyways, though. Next, they're now at the hospital, and of course the nurse checked her out. She was good. The baby's fine. Everything's going well. Then Miguel popped up, and he lets her know that the same person that came after him is the same person that attacked Maria. So that's when Maria would let him know, see, I've been telling you little lad niggas, y'all on the same team. So pretty much they both have the cartel to deal with, and that's when, you know. But anyways, after that, next we get to your boy, my boy, King Ugly as hell. He at the beach, got his little ugly ass feet in the water. And then I walked up to Nard, and he got stopped by JoJo, but he was letting me know, come on, man, I just wanted to holler at King Kilo, let him know, give him a welcome or whatever. And that's when he came up to him. He's like, hey, man, this nigga Tommy been playing all of us. He been ugly as hell. He took that, comes to find out that was Tommy's nephew. He's been covering for D-Mac. Pretty much the same thing that, Diamond Little Man told him to tell him. And pretty much, King Ugly as hell wouldn't happen to hear about that. Because he smelled bullshit, which it was. He's like, you're telling me that the shorty, that the ugly ass nigga that killed my nephew is still breathing? He was about to get Jannar a little bit and kill him. Jannar was like, nah, I can take your little man to him. So, he took him to him. And then next, we get to your girl, Shanti. Well, actually, Tommy Miguel is Shanti. So pretty much they let him know that, with some of the moves going south and not working out, that he don't have enough money to basically cover the tab with Che. and they might have two cartels on their hand instead of one now, because he asked Miguel, did he want to help him return the 500 grand that he gave him? And Miguel was like, he doesn't have it because he's been hitting, Tommy's been doing things to hit his organization. And in the middle of that, Shanti turns up and she's like, I got it, ugly ass niggas. But the only condition is I want to be the one to hand the money to Che. And they, of course, they was like, they wasn't too sure of that, but Shanti let her know where she stand. Like, it's either that or it ain't happening. So ultimately, they, agreed on it. But anyways, next in came King Ugly as Hell and his crew. Well, JoJo and of course Jannard at last. They ambushed JP, asking him, "Where's Demon?" And he was like, "I'm not telling your little ugly ass nothing." And pretty much that's when they got him in the chair and stuff like that. Took his phone, and that's when he was like, pretty much he called Tommy because he noticed that the phone he didn't have his son in there, name in there. He noticed that it was D-Mac's phone instead of his. But anyways, he called Tommy and let him know, Tommy. While he was talking, JP was yelling, they got, there's the D-Mac, Tommy. And they were like, shut your. And then pretty much he was like, give you back, give me D-Mac, give me your brother. But, in the middle of that, after that, Tommy was very emotional after this and stuff like that. He was like, hold on, little lady, I swear to God, if you touch my brother, you know how you get me in that crazy talk mode, I will kill you. And he, of course, King Ugly Hell wasn't worried about letting him stop. But what's crazy? King Ugly as Hell was gonna let him go, but honestly, to keep it 100, obviously Jannard Ugly as Hell for what he did, but I think possibly if JP would have shut his mouth and not tempted Jannard talking about all of this because I beat your ass, he wouldn't have shot him because King Ugly as Hell was gonna let him go. And it's possible that, Jannard would have just walked out with King Ugly as Hell, possibly. But I don't know though, because the fact that King Ugly as Hell told him he was out of the organization with him, But anyway, we know what happened. He said that, and of course, Jannard went Raquel Thomas on his dad, gave his dad 2 to the chest and one where he used to think, and that was the end of your boy JP. And of course, that was a very emotional, touching scene. Me personally, I think Joseph's acting in this entire episode was pretty goddamn good. Just want to throw that out there. But anyways, though, he was very hurt about it. And even King Ugly as Hell, you could tell, was shocked too, like, the fuck, ass nigga. And that's when King Ugly as Hell told him he's out of the coalition, and because him and Diamond been playing games, which they have. And, basically they could go fuck themselves. And after that, that's when when Jannard went stupid and like, fuck it. And then he shot Ugly ass JoJo, and then of course he shot Ugly ass King Ugly as Hell. Very simple. So now Jannard has started a massive war where we all know he's not going to be able to win. So pretty much, that's all I got for y'all for this particular video. Definitely let me know what y'all think up in these comment sections. What did you think of the overall episode 8, titled Build Back Better? Definitely let me know all of that and more in the comment section. But like usual, if you're cool with me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, leave a like, comment. Let me know what you think, but most importantly, make sure you share with your dad friends. Until the next video, I'm out.